You've seen plenty of his work, just not maybe him in his work. We are excited to bring you the February Business of the Month, Umstot Photography, joined by owner, creator, Mark Umstot. Thank you for letting us use your facility. The video looks a little bit better in here.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. I'm glad to have you. And I'm so excited to be the Business of the Month. That's so cool.
Well, you've been in business for about 20 years, but before you started the business here, you went off before realizing, hey, Lubbock's the place to be. Tell us how you got started in the business and why you came back to the Hub City.
You betcha. Well, I grew up here, number one. Covenant or Methodist Hospital, the part they just tore down. I was born there. And then went to Lubbock High. I really have a lot to say about Lubbock High. I love Lubbock High.
Yeah.
And I know your kid, what I know is going another place, but whatever. And I headed off to Dallas and then went to Connecticut, wound up eventually in New York City, and then 9/11 happened and we wound up back here. And it was really tough getting started because we decided this would be a great place to raise kids, which it is. It's a wonderful place for that. Not to mention they could eventually go to Lubbock High. That's a good thing. But wound up back here, but had spent tons of money moving. Especially to move out of New York City cost a lot of money. And got back here, thought, okay, I'm going to start a business. So I started one April 1st, not just because it's April Fool's, but that fits pretty well. And have been here 20 years now as of April 1st. And didn't know exactly how I was going to get started, but I got me rented a little place over at 69th and Slide, just in the strip center there, and eventually moved to 34th Street. Then moved downtown to Avenue K, eventually bought a building where the parking lot of City Hall is now, and then bought this building. I'm at 1302 Avenue Q, and I plan on staying here. This is a perfect place for me.
So that's how you got to this point, but what got you into photography? Everybody has a story. There's something that sparked the interest, and obviously you continue to do something that you love.
Well, it's funny because I have a background actually in ministry. I have master's in theology from Southwestern Seminary, and actually I'm finishing up a doctorate right now in theology. But I am just doing that because COVID hit and thought, what the heck?
No.
I'm still working about 78 hours a week and doing that too. But really it was an accident. I decided I was going to go a little different direction, and people had seen my work and started asking about it and thought I was a full-time photographer. And then when I actually learned how to be a photographer, I realized I was making tons of mistakes, except that I called that my style. And then I had to know how to repeat my style when I knew how to actually photograph.
And with your style, you also, I imagine, have a motto for your business and the way you've done things.
I do. It was actually for me originally. It was different, special, better. And I still go by that. I know that if I put it out there, people expect me to live up to that. And so I want to be different. There's a ton of photographers in the world, and I want to set myself apart. But part of the way I set myself apart is just the way I run my studio. And I have 3 rules for my studio. Number 1, you can have an ego with me. And that's a real thing. If I tell you you look great, I want you to go, of course I do. You don't even have to say thank you. Number 2, you have to leave with better self-esteem than when you came in. And I really believe that. And I'll tell you a story about that. But number 3 is that I run my studio by the golden rule, and I really try to treat my clients like I want to be treated. And as a result, my clients become my friends. And it's okay. I have about 4,000 friends that are active, but it's a good problem. But talking about the self-esteem, I had a mom once call me for her daughter's senior pictures, and it was tough. She called me twice. She booked the appointment, but she called me 2 more times and just was warning me about her daughter, her high school senior daughter. And she even used the word ugly. And I'm like, what in the world? First off, I'm expecting something totally different, and the girl walks in the door and I'm like, you look amazing. But her self-esteem was 0. I started taking pictures and have the picture on the back of the camera, and I took one and I showed it to her and I said, look, you look amazing. She's, Mark, I look beautiful. And I still get chill bumps to this day about it because it changed her life. All of a sudden she realized she looks as good as everybody else. And so I get some rewards like that that are just phenomenal.
Yeah, and that's why people come to people like you. You know, they want to look good, they want to feel good, and obviously, you know, you made one person's day right there, which is an awesome deal. Switching to the chamber, I mean, you've been a member of the chamber. What are the benefits that you've seen during your time with your partnership with us?
Well, it's funny you say that because originally I didn't think there was a need for it. And so I put off joining the chamber for a while because I thought, I don't need that. But all of a sudden when I did, I started having connections that I didn't have. Through COVID, so many times the chamber actually helped me. I had to shut down for a while. That's what I'm actually doing a doctorate right now in theology, and part of the reason why is because I didn't know what was going to happen. But toward the end of me having to be shut down, the chamber stepped in and said, listen, there's these grants you can do, there's the EIDL, the PPP, all those that they guided me. And it was just phenomenal. Then I started photographing the headshots for the chamber and Leadership Lubbock. I do a ton of headshots. If you haven't got your headshot, come see me. We do a ton. I just recently finished photographing every doctor and PA and nurse practitioner for Covenant, all of Covenant's hospitals. I love doing headshots because in some ways they all look the same, but they're not. It's a different person with each one. And I think it's so important. And that's what I love partnering with the chamber and getting everybody who's with the chamber to have headshots, to bring up the level of professionalism. And I think that's what the chamber does.
And headshots aren't the only thing that you do. Before we go, let everybody know how they can get in touch with you.
You bet. The easiest way is to go to my website. That helps a lot. And it's just umstot.com. And hopefully you'll put a little tag on there so they can spell it. Or just call me, 806-239-3657. Because I'm in Lubbock, I do everything. I do a lot of commercial business, a lot of architecture, a lot of real estate, and I work for many architectural firms. But I also still love to do portraits, and I still love to photograph high school seniors and to bring out the side. It's an interesting thing. It's almost self-sorting. I get calls from people who do want different kinds of pictures. And it allows me to express my creativity. One of the best things I love when clients come and say, listen, we have no idea, just do your thing. You will get so much more work from me because all of a sudden I can be creative. And I try to bring that into everything I do so that it just doesn't look like your average high school senior pictures. I remember mine. If you remember family photo, I got mine done at family photo. I was in a leather jacket with a rattan chair behind me, and it's embarrassing. But that's what I want. I want a high school senior's pictures, them to look back on them and go, man, these were really good. Or your newborn, or your 2-year-olds, I don't know. But I don't do as many weddings as I used to, simply because I don't really have the time. But I still do a few weddings if they want it different.
Well, Mark, we appreciate it. Whether you admit it or you're not, you're pretty good in front of the camera as well, right?
I do it like I do my photography. I fake it.
Fake it. Well, you've done a wonderful job. Congratulations again for being the February Business of the Month.
Thank you so much.